And hopefully we're going to see a room code from them as soon as they get started. They are beginning to draft, by the way. And it looks like the draft has begun, and Scallions won the coin flip and actually wants to spy first. To which Flush responds with choosing to pick second, which I think is a very advantageous thing to do. Just try to see which maps your opponent picks, and then respond to that.
For sure.
Yeah, taking the players a little while, which is definitely understandable.
And Scallion starts it off with a ban on New Art Veranda, any 5/7.
That's an interesting ban. I'm not entirely sure if it's a contra ban against Flush, or if it's more of a personal preference. Just
Might just
try
be
to
an
avoid.
unfamiliarity of a new map.
Yeah, possibly. And it's actually getting close to a year. Well, like 8 months, 9 months since it came out.
Like that.
It definitely feels new for most people. And Flush responds with banning the other big map, but note that they're banning the 5/7 version, so they do not want to play the
Don't want to
maps
cut any
that
missions.
are difficult for a spy. And Scallion bans a small map in response to that, Hyrithany 3 of 5.
And Panop, the other version, is banned as well.
So Flush just decided he does not want to ban Panop, to play Panop, I'm sorry.
And like, if they get to overtime, it would be good for Scallions to choose that map.
Or at least consider. This is like one of those cases that even if you're not maybe super comfortable, if you see your opponent ban it out completely, then that might mean that they are even less comfortable with it than you are.
For sure.
Those were the bans, so let's see what they try to pick. It does feel like they might be thinking more along the lines of new art versus old art bans as opposed to small maps against big maps.
So we started off listing on Courtyard 2 and 4/7, this classic map. Probably familiar with both of them.
That's possibly going to be one of the more popular picks this season, especially as more and more old art maps disappear.
You have high rise any 4 of 8, 12 guests 3 minutes. It's a little bit different than previous seasons. Kelly's cut it down to 3 minutes, so it's a bit of a rush for a spy.
But kind of make up for that, but you could have an argument whether that's worth the 30 seconds or not, and whether it's generally changes much about the map, given that one of the big complaints was that it is a sniper favored map. Now, I'm not very familiar with what the preferences for these players are in terms of maps, but I have a suspicion that Flush might be a fan of Ballroom. So having Scallions big Ballroom for him could be useful.
And the other two, Scallions picks New York Ballroom Mini 4-7 and RoyalFlush Mini 3-5.
So no huge maps, but definitely a pretty wide array of different stuff. And with that, we are going to be moving on to the actual match.
Be starting out on court 4-7.
All right.
Hey,
So we have Scallions on the spy with the obvious choice of character.
gonna start this game really early.
Flirt immediately, a little bit aggressive, but chances are this early in the game not going to be necessarily noticed. Does not talk in the conversation, which is dangerous, but again, early on, chances are just that busy, although it's getting to a point where it's not that early at this point. Have to probably start considering making progress. There's only 2 minutes left and only one flirt done so far.
I wanna just on things. There's this highlight for visiting statues.
That is a difficult fingerprint available. Unfortunately, it was not
Get it
meant to
though.
be. So of course, now that the fingerprint didn't work out, you're in a bit of a rough spot because you are at highlight and you need to start thinking about how you're going to get your fabled fourth mission. Granted, Flush has quite a few highlights, which is maybe something Scallions had been paying attention to, so that would justify the slow play a little bit. Just allow the sniper to evade suspects, try to maybe frame someone. And it's looking like we are going to do a time
Red
ballot.
time.
And the end of red.
Seems like
Good
it went
BB.
clean. The BB only gave 2 bullets, I think, which I'm not sure Flush even took.
It's early. I don't think he's gonna take a shot.
Yeah, Flush did not see the purloin in time. And then, of course, props to Scallions for avoiding the view of the sniper by a little kind of a dance.
And that's pillar check. So that's a 1-0 for Scallions.
1-0 for orange dress as well,
Yes, of course.
which is a separate score that you keep during Scallion sets, obviously.
I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Orange just a few more times during this match and over the season,
In one role or the other.
of course.
Now let's see how Flush is going to respond on Courtyard, which is considered to be a difficult map for Spy.
So RoyalFlush here as Blue Danger, starting off in a pretty innocent CC.
I'm sure it took him a while to get there, and there was quite a lot of amazing bouncing, but it's generally a bad idea to low life for bouncing this early in the game.
He gets his first mission at 30 seconds in.
Bad BB, got a couple low lights, but generally looks pretty good. Of course, that's the easiest mission to do, well, one of the easiest on this map, one of the quickest, so it's one of the problems with getting early mission progress like B or bug, is that you feel you're up a mission and then you tend to slow play, and you don't get your slow missions in time. Which at the moment is what we're seeing happen. He's just
Yeah.
standing in convo and waiting.
It's not moving at all.
That's another useless convo.
It's not going to get much happening there.
I have to wonder what the plan is at this point, because his spans basically a minute after that BB just doing nothing.
It's a little late to start Flirt, unless he's trying to grab a beef case here.
He could be, but it's very, yeah, the general is just going to beat him to it.
Yep. White Burline.
I do not like that Perlin, but I also understand that at this point he's low on time.
He just gulped a drink, so we'll see if Scallion notices or knows that he had a drink.
Yeah, I can't really tell if Scallion noticed the Perlin at all based on his reaction.
Flush is still running out of time, though. He still has 2 more missions to do, and 33 seconds is still cutting it close for Flirt.
Yeah, if you just rush these missions, you could do it. In
You can
fact,
inspect
at this
swap,
point,
maybe.
yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Maybe you just forget about Flirt and try to finish with the statues, which is of course
One
risky, but
fingerprint isn't much.
yeah, that's a printable statue. You could basically ignore the print because it's highly unlikely you're going to get the.
He's going to try to crash
And
this.
look at
Oh, green swap.
so the clock has stopped,
We're going to wait.
and there's another person at statues.
Whenever this statue gets swapped, he's going to have a whole 10 seconds of overtime, so we'll see how he uses it.
I almost want to say that he maybe
Yep.
should have. Yeah, he knew. Yeah, there was another danger at the statue, but no one went to pick it up after him, so Scallions didn't actually have to check. And since that was, I think, a BB low light, he knew for sure it had to be swapped.
Yeah, it might have been smarter there to Flirt and start that early.
Yeah, he probably wanted to. He probably should have started flirting early, but even after the swap, maybe one of the things you can do is try to go and finish flirt. So that might confuse the sniper because the swap doesn't come off and the time has stopped, and yet the spy somehow completes all the missions. But that's going to
And
be
we're moving on to high rise any 4 of 8, 12 guess 3 minutes.
uh, that is going to be 2-0 Scallions, by the way, taking an early
Yes,
lead.
2-0 Scallions. I'm interested in seeing how they play out the rest of this game. So it seems like RoyalFlush is kind of slow playing the game. Oh,
I feel like both of these players are generally very, very slow as spies.
yes. Even with Sniper, they tend to be a little bit more patient with their shots.
This used to be a map with a lot of time and a lot of room for patience on both sides. We shall see how they're going to treat it in its current form. And Scallion starts off as boots with what some people would consider to not be the orange dress equivalent of New Art,
She has
as
more of
his
a
esteem.
burnt orange dress.
Again, taking it slow, which is kind of understandable because the EST is off in the middle of nowhere.
It might be smarter on Scallion's part to chase down the ST because Orange Starry is a little bit of a slower character, so when she decides to move from area to area, it takes a little longer for her to do so.
I'm surprised by the microphone choice here. I thought he was heading for the briefcase, which was very conveniently lying there with a fingerprint available. There's still a difficult print on it, but microfilm is some mission progress, so that's not a bad decision.
And the end of red.
Gives up only one low light, but only one of those convos had an actual DA.
And it seems like he's assuming real. And he seems to get that microfilm off clean as well.
Yeah, the hand was in view, but it doesn't seem like Flush noticed it.
I'd expect Scallions here to do a soft tail to finish after flirt, possibly.
Well, fingerprints is probably not on cards, with just 30 seconds left.
Yeah, it might be a mid statues or maybe a crash bug. It's not too much time left.
And it looks like it's a bug.
Yeah.
He still needs to flirt though, so he wants to grab this book and run as quickly as possible.
He's gonna fingerprint it.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Should be right on the timer. Maybe have 0.5 seconds of overtime. It's a little
Yeah,
late.
it does not seem like Flush was going to shoot him. He was aiming at green dress, redhead, thinking there might be overtime on her.
That's 3-0 Scallions.
Yeah, that's the spy game. So generally, it's considered that the sniper has the advantage on most maps. So picking up 2 spy wings is definitely a big jump ahead right off the start.
It seemed like that game had about 0.1 seconds of overtime, so I'm not sure if the beeping would have started too soon after that.
Yeah, there was just enough time for the beeping for the overtime beeps not to start. Well, Flush gets a an early flirt, so
Starting
hopefully
this
we're
off
going.
with some action.
Yep. So hopefully we'll see some better pacing this time. Gets statues and doesn't seem like he is being noticed at the moment. So
Oh,
he
early
actually
swap,
oh
green swap. I'm not even sure that Scallions checked the statues yet.
tried to bug, didn't take.
Might be a good idea to check on that statue now. Oh,
Well, that's probably too late.
he's got 1 mission complete and 2/3 of 2 missions.
And the one mission is a hard sell, which I think went completely unnoticed. So at this point, he doesn't even have to go to center statues. Just seduce, go to any side statue, and BB.
Yeah, he still has to swing all the way. Oh, there he goes. Pretty sure that's the first swing around this game.
Which is surprising because there have been 3 characters with those statues, excluding the Amba. Interestingly,
Probably.
there are 2 fingerprinted statues at the moment, so that's possibly also an option if he wants to go for a silent game. But that's also a bit of a risky option. Yeah, he goes to the other statue that does not have a print.
That's the highlight.
And at this point, you have about 40 seconds to pray that the double agent joins the conversation circle. No, going for briefcase.
Let's see if. Oh, yeah. Probably right there. See if
That's
Scala notices this.
oh,
Oh. Maybe assume green there?
she did reject, and she was highly a long time before he was. Interestingly, she was also the character who swapped the statue. So I'm not sure what Scallions saw and what he missed this game. Somehow the karma worked out for this character.
He did see White at statues, I believe, and watched her at bookcases as well, and I'd probably try to fake a highlight there.
Well, that's going to be the first win for Flush, and hopefully his the start of his comeback. Moving on, excuse me. Moving on to ballroom any4 of 7. So I have a question for you. Which mission do you cut in this layout?
I would probably cut microfilm. It's just a mission that I don't find easy to do on this map. But it looks like he's cutting double contact double agent.
That's a choice I would not expect from most
On this
people.
map, yeah, it's a pretty large map with a lot of guests. So that would be one of the missions I'd keep. Another one would
Not
probably be Fingerprint.
It's not necessarily easy to get like a perfect BB on this map, but there are 5 conversation circles, so usually you can get quite decent BBs all around.
Maybe going, well, he'll be trying to get a silent game for sure.
Well, that's one way to get a silent game. Just
Just
cut
kind of for
BB.
sure. There
So that
will
nothing.
be no. I mean, that you can hear at least. He gets off that early bug. Doesn't look like he's been seen at all.
Bug is very difficult to track on this map a lot of the time.
Starts off with a fingerprint as well.
And takes the book out, so might be looking to get another prince, transfer, and seduce.
Looks like he's trying to get this done really fast too. Not too many green tests so far.
Yeah, I don't believe we've seen a flirt that started at 51%. It's only been 34.
And this is a hard, nice
Nope.
hard transfer. Oh, he wants to remove the microfilm?
What? That's an odd choice.
He probably wanted to flirt there and just did the wrong thing. I
Yeah,
see.
that would make sense. So he has to put it back, but
You need to
it
put it
seems
back
like
now.
both. It seems like both action tests were not bad, so he's definitely having some luck on that part. But
It seems like he got it off clean though, so I'm sure it's fine.
you could call it luck, but he was also pretty well hidden behind the pillar, although that was partially a problem with RoyalFlush.
And fingerprint's done.
Maybe having
Oh, red
one
flirt.
less thing on it.
I'm sure
That's
he'll be fine though. He has a whole minute and a half to get that done. And that'd be the end of this
he
game.
does need a green flirt, yes, but he got away with a good bug, some interesting microfilm, and very good fingerprints. So that's definitely he's picking up the pace with every game.
It might be good on their part to start assuming white.
I would be worried here a little bit because he does need a green test to get the flirt. So if he does not get it off in a single flirt, then he is going to, and he
He
positioned
doesn't.
himself way far.
If he's panicking here, it might be good to just inspect.
Now, fortunately for him, his SD actually leaves now, which means that he's going to have a shorter cooldown, which means he can finish flirt. He doesn't need to leave the convo himself to reset it. That is.
Even better if this SD comes right back into the conversation.
Well, that would be just too much of a gift.
A
But he only needs to walk a little bit, and he did
little
not
short
need
path. He'll get
to
it
to hug her.
before the overtime as well. This is right on time again, with 0.6 seconds left after. He's really testing the patience of RoyalFlush here.
And it looks like Flush was again ready to shoot someone if the overtime comes up, but doesn't seem that like Scallions wants to give him the chance.
Yeah, that's 4-1 Scallions. And we're on to RoyalFlush on the spy side.
Well, I keep saying if there's a map where you want to pick up a spy win, this is one of the two maps where it's a very realistic chance.
Yes.
So I think Flush definitely has a lot of opportunities still, especially
He'll
given
have to
the
win them all straight. He'll
yes,
have to
but
win the next 3 games.
the last map is his pick, so
True.
Hopefully that should give him some kind of an advantage.
He'll have to win this one before he even touch the next map.
True.
Let's see what he actually decides on choosing to not do.
Well, between bug and transfer, hopefully he's going to keep bug in.
Yeah, looks like that's exactly what he's doing. Transfer microfilm is out.
He did not press that OK yet. So, but here we go. Transfer is indeed out. The transfer, of course, is a very strong mission on this map, but also generally one of the slowest hard sells, unless you want to do it directly, bookcase to bookcase.
So green inspect.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem like he'll get too much out of these statues either.
He was noticed this time. I was wondering if Scallions is going to realize that Flush is at bookcases. Which with enough cover, Red, Redhead is actually kind of difficult to notice at bookcases because her brownish red hair blends in with the background. Now, curious that the seduction target is indeed Orange Sari this game.
He doesn't seem like he wants to talk in conversation.
Yeah, he has two half missions at this point, but you really have to start moving. Unless you're certain that Scallions is going to reward you for idling. Which I'm not sure he has so far.
I haven't seen too many lowlights out of Scallions besides hard lowlights from BB.
I haven't seen a lot of lowlights from either player, honestly.
Yes.
Innocent Book.
I
I
may want
don't
to try to
mind
come
not.
back later, get that fingerprint.
Yeah, I don't mind the Innocent Book here because there was just no cover for it unless they take it out, which means you're gonna have to spend a lot of time and transfers off anyway. So I don't know what I'm
Exactly.
talking about. Still need a green flirt. Need another statue. Bug? Bug? Yes.
Yep, there's the
Good.
bug.
Not shot for it, but it looks like.
Just some suspicion there.
Yeah, I can't really tell. It was visible, but her bug is just generally pretty good, so
It's
it's
pretty
possible it
parallel.
wasn't.
I'm surprised she didn't, or RoyalFlush didn't go back for that book.
Gets the green seduce, so that's it for seduction. And might we be looking at an inspect swap? Unfortunately, this is not a statue where you inspect swap unless you don't think that the sniper is going to look at these statues completely.
Yep. If he doesn't shift over just slightly, you notice
Oh,
that swap.
it looks like
Oh,
he's
is he
not
gonna get
tracking it.
soft save? Oh no. They're
And
really close to 0-0 every single time.
yeah, Scallions was staring at the purloin at the end. For some reason, did not check the swap. So maybe it did work out. Maybe he just thought that no one's going to check this spot because all the swaps happened at the back
This
statues.
this is the second swap that RoyalFlush has gone away with without Scallions even noticing.
That's something to think about, huh?
Scallions is still on match point, so RoyalFlush will still have to win the next two to tie this up. and get into overtime.
Now their last map is Pub 8305, which is probably not the easiest map on the spy end, and quite frankly can be difficult on the sniper end as well.
Gives a chance for spies to really play that soft tail game. Because it's pretty easy for, well, it might be less than 100%, but a lot of AIs will complete those missions. Assuming you do contact double agent, you can try to frame other people because you can have them inspect the statue because there's only need for one inspect, and they could just be really talkative.
A lot of it comes down to whether or not you can get the good BB.
Yes. With 10 guests, yeah, we really had to think about how full those conversations are.
Because there's quite a lot of them. And generally a lot of pads on this pretty big map.
You have 2 statue pads, 3 pub or bar pads, 4 window pads, and 4 conversations.
And we are the red dress this time around. And bug is off. So
Couldn't have gotten that bug either. I
the,
don't think RoyalFlush knows that.
well, we're down to 3 highlights, and it looks like the time ad was caught. So
Sounds good.
it's going to be rough. Of course, one of those highlights is statues, so that might be something useful.
If we're keeping it down to 3, we can kind of track what these other people are doing. So that's 1 inspect and 1 fingerprint so far for text over here.
Which is very suspicious. But also, if you're going to time ads,
Yeah,
oh,
there we go.
oh, okay.
Just a little overactive AI. And that's the set. 5-2 Scallions.
I'm a little disappointed by that shot though, because he was not done. There's just
No
no
one could
way
have
he
been
was.
done.
Yes, to give him a chance to disprove your suspicion.
Now we'll never know if he was just stood there for the rest of the game.
That was a lot of spy wins between all of these games though.